Alright, everybody, get ready for some VRChat world building. We're gonna get started in just a moment. Just making sure everything is ready to go. Because you're gonna see double of everything for this one. Yeah, we should be good. Alright, everybody, welcome to our very first edition of VRChat world building here on Yuki Productions and Yuki's VR Productions. I am your host for today, Yuki, once again. So I've been making VRChat worlds for a bit. I'm actually working on Moonlight Village 2.0. That's coming out. That's coming up most likely next week in terms of the beta. But here is what I'm going to be teaching you guys this particular series. There's gonna be at least three sessions. It's gonna be Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning. I have done this before in live space, but I've not done this before on YouTube. So this will be my first time doing this on YouTube. So here's what we have for you guys today. For today, we're going to be teaching you the building blocks. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use the VRChat Creator Companion, as well as how to use Unity and how to use how you to control Unity. I'm also going to be teaching you guys how to get your very first asset pack from Brick Studios, which is somebody who made an asset pack for free so you guys can start making your own world. I'll be teaching you guys about CyanEMU and VRChat in terms of testing your own world, and we'll be talking about how to use the prefab and inspector in terms of the in terms of how it works. So that is the agenda. So here is how you get started. First for today, you're gonna need a few things. The first thing you need is the VRChat Creator Companion. Let me make sure that everything is settled before we get started. Give me one moment. Gotta check over one quick thing before we continue further. Gotta do one quick share. Shout out to everybody who has been checking out the tutorials on the live space. Live space is a brand new platform that is supposed to rival one of the other platforms. I forgot which one, but yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and get back into the scene here. So what you need to do first is you need to get the VRChat Creator Companion. To do so, you need to go into your own VRChat account on hello.vrchat.com. If this is your very first time learning about VRChat, make sure you create an account. You will need to make your own account for a few reasons. Number one, you need the VRChat Creator Companion. Number two, if you wish to play VRChat, you also need that. And number three, in order to test in VRChat itself, you must have VRChat installed and you have to at least play for a few hours if you wish to upload as well. I'm already logged in, so that is your account. Well, that is how your account is going to look like when you make your own VRChat account. Obviously, you do not have an avatar yet. They're going to give you a random one. I have the Catrice one because I'm going to be playing as Catrice this Thursday. So on the left side of your screen, you're gonna see a few tabs. The first tab you need to click on is called Download. You're gonna get to this page. If you do not have VRChat yet, make sure you download it for Steam, or if you have that headset, the Oculus, make sure you guys download it on Oculus. The second thing you're gonna do is download the Creator Companion, which is this button right here. Make sure you go through the steps, step by step. Once you have done that, we can go ahead and start making our project. Now, if you never use Unity, I'm also gonna be talking about that too, because we're gonna be developing our world in Unity. Now, for Unity, there's the good news. If you have downloaded the Creator Companion, they will let you install the correct version of Unity automatically. So what's going to happen is you have this creator companion. That is the creator companion and how it looks like. Creator companion is looking like this on the right side of your screen. You may have noticed I have a lot of projects already, but that's because I've been making worlds. But for somebody who's brand new, you're not going to see this particular screen. You're going to see something like Setup Unity. Make sure you do so because they automatically give you the latest version that is appropriate for today. And the latest version of Unity is 2022.2, excuse me, 2022.3.6F1. That is the latest version that is supported for VRChat World. There is a 2023 option. Please do not use that one. Use 2022. That is the latest one. Or if you're used to 2019, that's also available for you to play with because they just recently updated. Now to make a new project, once you set up Unity, make sure you download Unity and everything that is in there. Once you have done that, we're gonna go ahead and create a new project. Here are some of the options available to you when you start making VRChat World. There are two options actually. The first option is if you have Unity 2022, you can make a 2022 version or Unity 2022. Or if you use 2019, you can use the 2019 option. Both options are okay. Make sure you have the correct Unity version for that particular option. 2020, there's also an option for avatars for 2019 and 2022. For today, for this series, we're making a VRChat world, and I have 2022 installed. So go ahead and click 2022. Then you go to new project. You create a new project. We are gonna make a house or a house. We're gonna make small house test, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but we're gonna make a small house so that you can show you guys here how to play with it. Okay. Then we're gonna go to create project. Once this project is created, you're gonna see the following. You're gonna see several packages that are going to be installed here. The first one is VRChat SDK. You must have that. That's automatically installed. You have the VRChat package resolver tool, and you have the VRChat SDK base. We also have three optional packages, including the Easy Quest Switch, it, so you can make it easier to switch to the Quest version. We also have VRChat World Toolkit to help you debug something that you need help with, and the Audio Link package, which allows you to do audio. What I want you guys to do when you start this, make sure you have also press Easy Quest Switch, this plus button, install the package. It will automatically install it for you. And VRChat World Toolkit also needs to be installed. Audio Link you can leave out for now. It's not required right now. But Easy Quest Switch and VRChat World Toolkit is going to help you out. Go ahead and let's get started. Press Open Project. Make sure you install Unity first before you go through what we're about to go through. Open Project. Now it's going to open in full screen, but to make sure you guys see absolutely everything, I'm going to minimize the window. And I'm going to now at this step, I'm going to present to you how to use Unity conjunction with how the VRChat world development works. Now I'm going to introduce you to the Unity Asset Store because we're gonna download a free package for us to get started. And actually, I always use this package. It's the apartment kit from Brick Studio Project, I believe. I always use that project kit to get started. While that's loading, I'm gonna see where we are in terms of like how our stuff is going, and I'm gonna get the window ready. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that share if you guys are interested in something like this, because this is something that new, and also something new that we're doing tonight. We're gonna be playing GeoGuessr, something that I usually don't do on a stream, but I'll talk about that later on. Let's go. So once it loads, we can go ahead and I'm gonna open my screen because it's still showing so I'm gonna try my best to keep it as free flowing as possible because we are dealing with a lot. Because I always have to make sure I'm looking at your chat messages. This is also live on the Yuki VR channel. Yuki's VR Productions, along with the main one. So right now it's installing the packages that we have. It's gonna take a little bit because there's a lot to install. But once it installs, it's gonna open. Also, before going on, make sure you have a Unity account as well. Because in order to download packages, you must have a Unity account. And in addition to installing packages, you also need a Unity account if you wish to buy packages on Unity. Because while we're downloading a free package today, there is going to be a point where you want to purchase assets to make your worlds more fleshed out, if you will. Make sure you guys download the. Make sure you guys make a Unity account. It is required because if you want to purchase assets. Okay, now we're gonna try to make this as free flowing as possible. This one we do not need. Just minimize that. So now I would like to welcome you to Unity. This is how Unity works. So this is the the control zone of Unity. Okay, so before we get to Unity, I want to show you guys how to make your own VR chat. I mean, not VR chat. Unity account. So what you want to do is go to the Unity Asset Store. Okay, I'm gonna sign out of mine to show you guys how to make one. Okay, so I signed out of mine. Now I'm gonna show you how to make one. So you go to Unity Asset Store or assetstore.unity.com. Go to the top right corner and you're gonna see this icon. It says Unity ID. A Unity ID allows you to buy and or subscribe to Unity products and services. Shop in the store and participate in the community. What you want to do is create a Unity account and you just need an email. I already have one, so you're good. So we're good there. Make sure you have a username, full name, email, password. Make sure you have agreed to the terms and conditions and make sure you put I'm not a robot and you'll be okay to go. Make sure you confirm your email and then you can get started. That's how you make a Unity account. Now, I'm going to sign into mine in a moment, but I want to introduce you to the Unity Asset Store that we're about to do. But first, let's go ahead and talk about Unity itself. So this is Unity. So this is the program that you use to make VRChat worlds. Now we're going to introduce you to the interface a little bit. So here is your scene. Big boy, big scene. Now you get this automatically, the default scene. I will tell you, you can automatically test this. Kind of. But what we want to do is a VRChat. We're going to go over a few things. First off, that is your scene. This little big box. That is where all your objects, prefabs, animations, um, box colliders go. This is where everything goes, okay? This to your left is called the hierarchy. That is where all your objects, prefabs go in terms of the hierarchy. This is very important to understand though. The order of your hierarchy actually matters. I'll explain why later. Okay? That's going to be later because we're not past level 1 yet. Uh this or your toolbox. This right here down here is where all your assets live. Your your packages that you downloaded, the assets we're about to download, all that it belongs in this area, the assets folder. You also have something called packages folder, which is everything that you need for VRChat stuff, scripts, and anything that is related to Unity. Those go in there. Don't mess with that. What you want to play with is the assets folder. Okay. The next thing is on top here, the all the stuff, windows and stuff. You have file, edit, assets, game object, component, services, jobs, VRChat World Toolkit, which we will get to in a moment, VRChat SDK, window, and help. So if you need some like file save and all that good stuff, that's over here. On the right side, we have the layout for different things. We have the package manager, which we will actually go into in just a moment. We have the VRChat SDK, which allows you to log into your VRChat account and your and how you make worlds and stuff. You must have this. You actually that is why you need your VRChat account. You must make a VRChat account in order to access the builder, the content manager, because for builder it lets you test in VRChat. Content manager allows you to see what you have made in VRChat. And also for builder lets you build and upload your own world. I'm going to actually close, not close, but do my cover screen because I'm going to log into my VRChat account, but I'm going to still be talking. So make sure you guys have your VRChat account. I'm going to cover my screen because I'm going to log into my VRChat account, my main one. I will actually have a second one as a backup, but not today. So once you sign in, they're going to email you or message you a code. Make sure you put that code into the box that is provided for you. Okay. Oops. Once you put in that code, you should be okay. Once you put in the code, press verify, and now I can officially open my screen again so that we can go ahead and continue. Okay. Now that we logged in, we can check out the builder, which is over here. You make the name, the description, the max capacity, and the recommended capacity. We also have the content warnings. So VRChat introduced a new content gating system that forces developers to tell them, "Hey, this world has excessive gore or graphic violence. Please don't make, please don't show this to underage users. You must report that. That is a brand new rule." Then tags like, is it a role play? Is it a game? Those kind of things. Then we have the selected platform. You have two particular platforms for this. You have Windows and Android. Android refers to Quest, and because they recently allowed you to, you can play on the Android phone, like the computer, the phone, like the real thing, the phone and stuff. The Android phone, you can actually play VR chat in now. So make sure you have your phone for testing too, because you can. Okay, but it has to be an Android. Or for Android also refers to Quest. If you have um your request headsets, you can also make sure you do that. We're gonna go into this in just a moment. Now, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Content Manager, anything that you have added in the past goes up on here. Okay, we're not gonna go into how to add portals today. We're just making sure you're ready to go. And settings is also over here as well. Console. Console allows you to check for errors. Now, there's errors, there's warnings, and there's another type of error called a compiler error. So there's three types of error. You have a warning, which is the triangle with the yellow exclamation mark. Then you have the error, a general error, and then you have a compiler error. Now, keep in mind, if you have an error, there are two types of errors that come up: the compiler error and the general error. If you get a compiler error, make absolute sure you know where it's coming from, because a compiler error will not allow you to test the new version of the world. That is compiler error. It cannot compile, and therefore it cannot be run. You will be, however, getting the previous build. That's where my experience is when I get a compiler error. This usually happens when you're trying to import a package that does not compete with each other. They don't like each other, kind of thing. So make sure you're absolutely sure you don't have compiler error. Now, now that I explained the layout of Unity, let's actually start building. But before that, we need to have an asset pack. We have nothing. Well, we do have something. It's a plane. It is called a plane. But it's so boring that we can get a plane out of nowhere, okay? So what we need to do is to get a package. There's two packages that we want. Go to your package manager and go to the search bar. Excuse me. Go to this tab, projects in project. Select that and press Unity Registry. What we need to look for in the search bar is Pro Builder. I'll explain why in just a moment. Pro Builder, once you select this, go to where it says install. What this allows you to do is create shapes. It helps you create shapes. It won't take long to install. Then we're also going to install another package called ProGrid, which allows you to snap certain objects to certain locations. And we're going to show you guys how to do that in a quick bit. Now that we have Pro Builder, let's check out Pro Grid if they have it, or unless it's automatically installed. I think it's automatically installed here, so we're good. So now let's show you guys the Pro Builder window. Go to Window. Excuse me. Go to, let's say, Tools, Pro Builder, Pro Builder window. What we want to do is we want to drag this to here. Where is it at? Right here. So we're on Pro Builder right here. The reason why we want to do this is so that it's easier for us to navigate. So we need the VRChat SDK and the console. I would say the console is the one you need more to your left. Oops, to your left. And then the world debugger, we're going to talk about that in a moment too. We're not going to do much yet. Okay? That's the setup. That was just the setup by the way. Now we're going to start building. So what we need to do is go to the asset store, the Unity asset store, and we're going to look up a free package. And today's free package is the apartment kit from Brick Studio Project. That is this one right here, Bricks Project Studio. Now, it is a free package. It's oops, I forgot to log in. Oops. Let me close my screen for a moment. Sign in. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I have to log in every time. But now that we're in, let's go ahead and show you the Bricks Project Studio. That is the apartment kit. And that is going to be this one right here. It is grayed out because I already got it. So it is a free asset. So what it's going to say is add to assets and then open in Unity. Once you add the asset and make sure you log in, go to open in Unity. So what's going to happen is it's going to add that package to your Unity library of assets under packages my assets. Look for the apartment kit and press download. Mine says re-download because I already did. But I'm going to press it again anyway just to show you guys what you need to do. Now, sometimes there might be updates, so that's another good reason why to re-download. Then it's going to decrypt the package, and then you press import. If you do not press import, it's not going to work. Importing means it's going to give you the package into the asset folder. Press import on import all. So right now it's going to import the package and we're going to grab our new toys. We we basically went to the store, picked up an item, and now we're about to open the package, which is the kit, and now we're going to play with our new toys. That is how it works. Now that we imported the package, you're going to notice that we have a new message called compile 7 scripts. That's because this particular package has animations and scripts. It is not necessary to understand scripting today. Okay? So we're now going to go build. And now I'll get to teach you guys how to use Unity for real. So now we're going to go into so console, it says scripts. We're going to go ahead and start talking about the actual building of a VRChat world. That is where the fun begins. So on your assets folder, you're going to see Brick Project. Double click that. This is where all the assets from that particular package that we just downloaded live in. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk about what we need to understand for building. So I'm gonna actually make a new scene, okay? So that we can go start from the very start. What I'm gonna do is go to File, and then we're gonna go to New Scene. Then we're gonna make a empty scene. Press Create. Press Control Save. We're going to name the scene um, Test House. Control Save again to make sure. Now we're going to introduce you to the inspector as well in just a moment. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go to Pro Builder, and then we're going to make a new shape. This is your Pro Builder window. So under your Pro Builder window, we're going to have a new plane. This is the plane. It is required to have well, it's not technically required to have a plane, but it's like the perfect starting block. It's like a flat surface. Go ahead and for 2022 users, hold your left click and then drag it to where your size is, right there, and then left click again. I'm gonna go all the way up to here, and congratulations, you just made your plane. That's as easy as 1, 2, 3 right there. Now, let's teach you about the inspector. Click on inspector when you select your plane. To rename it, press the plane on your on your hierarchy. Press F2 on your keyboard, and we're gonna name this house ground base. Okay, we're gonna control save. The reason why we're doing that is to showcase the hierarchy and to say, hey, this is the base of our house. Okay, so that is the plane. That is like our ground. Okay, now what we want to do is show you the inspector. So the highest ground base inspector has a few properties, including position, rotation, scale. Also, other scripts and stuff. We do not need this right now. Do not remove it though. I said we do not need to know about it yet. Okay. Position is going to talk about where is this plane located. So X, Y, and Z. I would recommend everybody to start at 0, 0, 0 to make it even on the zeros, to make it easier. Okay, so 0, 0, 0. Okay, control save. Now we're gonna start building our ground floor, if you will, like our floor plan. So on your hierarchy, on this side of the hierarchy, right click. We're gonna create an empty object. There's like an empty game object. We're gonna rename it to floor plan. Actually, we're gonna make another game object. Right click again and create empty. We're gonna name this house one. Hold left click on house one and put it up until you see this blue line. I'm gonna call it under there. Under house one, hold left click on floor plan, drag it to house one. It's going to act like a folder. House one game object is going to act as a folder. The floor plan folder is going to hold the prefabs slash object that we're going to call it under floor plan. The reason why I do this is like it's a folder. Your hierarchy is like your folders for your objects and your prefab. What is an object in prefab, you ask? Good question, because we're about to go into it. Assets, on your assets folder, double click on Brick Project Studio based on the object that we just downloaded today. We're going to go to, I believe, apartment. We're going to go to prefab. We're going to go to furniture. Actually, go back one to prefab structured. No, structures actually, because this is a sample. So this is a sample. Okay, so they give you a sample of what you're gonna see using the prefab. We're gonna rotate it. So here's how. But now it's a perfect time to introduce you to the tools of Unity. So here is the move tool, allows you to move around in the scene. This is the move tool. This is the one where you move your object and all that good stuff. This is the rotate tool, allows you to rotate the object or prefab of your choosing. This is the rectangle tool, the scale tool, excuse me, allows you to scale up the object up like this, big boy or small boy like this. Okay. Then we have the rectangle tool, allows you to lengthen or heighten the object in question. I do not recommend you using this unless you absolutely need to. We also have the transform tool, which is everything all in one. Rotate, rotate, scale, and move at the same time. Okay, so those are your tools of Unity. So we're going to move this house to right around here, and then what I'm going to do is save it. But I'm going to do something very special so that we can get into this apartment to show you what we're going to make. I'm going to do what we call opening a prefab. To open a prefab, left click on the blue structure 1 prefab that we just put placed on this by random. We're going to go to open. Okay, here's what the prefab has. This prefab of the structure has everything you need to make your very first house. This is an apartment kit, so we're making an apartment in some case. So in here is the following. We have a plenty of objects to choose from to make our very first house. Now you may have noticed there's light. We're going to get into lighting later. But as you can see, we have doors and stores and all that good stuff. We're going to remove all the doors so that we can go inside right away. So we're going to remove the doors so we can go inside right away. Let's see here. Let's see how it looks like when we go out. Yeah, all the doors are gone, I think. Yes, all the doors are gone, although I removed the mirror door as well, but that's okay. That's okay for this example. So we just removed all the doors. The reason being is so that we can get inside. Okay? Control save. Now, we have the structure that we can go inside out of. Now, keep in mind, we're not building yet because I just want to show you guys what is inside of this thing. There is one thing missing before we can start testing though. We need to do something called VRC. We need to add something called VRC world under, let me just, not in assets though. Uh, VRC world. If I can spell correctly, yes. And all, you're going to see this particular object. This prefab is required. The reason being is because this allows you to get into VRChat world. Oh, now we're going to rotate this for a few reasons. Number one, it's in the wrong place. Why do I say that? Because in when you spawn into VRChat, there's 3 arrows. You have green, red, and blue. The blue arrow is the direction where you're going to spawn in. So we're going to rotate this to right here. By the way, you can snap rotate by holding control and the button and the color. So blue is right there. I'm going to go just a little bit more. Let me just see. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Make absolute sure that the prefab is also on the ground. And looks like yes. I'm going to go up just a small bit here. Yes, it is on the ground. Control save. Why is this important, this VRC world object? Because it allows you to spawn into VRChat when you test it. Okay, now you're going to notice a lot of settings here. You do not need to mess with these settings if you do not want to. But you can change the jump impulse, the walk speed, run speed, strike speed, left and right, run speed, running, holding shift, walk speed when you're not running, and a jump impulse, how high you jump. Not required today. Now, here's important stuff. If you do not have VRChat installed, you can still test it. It's called CyanEMU. All you have to do is press this play button. That's it. Because they have something called a VRChat simulator. Keep in mind though, you're not going to see an avatar, you're going to see a robot. I, on the other hand, have VRChat. So what we can do is go to the VRChat SDK, go to Builder, make sure you logged into your VRChat account, go all the way down to see Build and Test New Build. That's what we're going to press right now. What's going to happen is it's going to launch an instance of VRChat in your test world. Now keep in mind, we have not done nothing yet. All I'm going to show you now is how the apartment looks inside and what we need and what we're about to enjoy. What we're about to enjoy when building a world, a house, or apartment. There's actually a apartment, two apartment demo scenes that you could check out at the same time. So VRC, so I introduced you this the beginning of this. What we're about to do next is we're about to actually build our own. So this is just to show you, hey, this is what you can make with this asset pack. Now we want you to make your own version using the assets provided by me. I'm just talking like a developer. So please go ahead and check it out. So I'm already logged in. I should be logged in to both. Now keep in mind, if you are testing a VRChat world, you are not allowed to ask to invite people. You are not allowed, no matter what. So as you guys can see, remember how we removed the doors in the prefab? Well, you can see that we are now in VRChat. This is my avatar, Catrice, because I'm using her for Thursday for our live stream. And now, hey, we're in. We can get into the apartment. So this is what we're going to build. Now, we're not going to build it exactly, but we're going to build something similar to this. Now, because I removed the doors, there's no interaction with animations. I'm not going to teach you guys that today. But there's like a drawer. You can go inside this house, this apartment, do whatever. Have some fun. So now we know that it works. And remember how we spawned in. I'm going to respawn here. And remember how I said the blue arrow matches the direction? I put it straight. This is how it looks. That's how it looks, guys. The blue arrow is direction of the object, especially spawning. That is also important when we get into chairs. Now we're gonna do it for real. And as you saw, local test. Nobody can go to your world because this is a local test. You can actually launch multiple clients, and the reason why you want to do that is to test two things: networking, especially with objects, and to make sure that certain objects work, like a race. Believe it or not, there's a racetrack in the upcoming version of Moonlight Village. That's one reason what you would do for racing to make sure everything works. Also, PvP worlds, you want to make multiple clients just in case you want to test. Okay. Now keep in mind, if you do that, it's going to simulate both of your avatars. So I have two Catris, although with one person. One particular person is hosting it. Okay. So now we're gonna do this for real. We're gonna remove structure. Goodbye. We're gonna save it. Now we're gonna actually build ourselves our very own apartment. But this, but we're not gonna make it that big. We're just gonna make it big enough to present to you how to build your own. So now we're gonna actually build. I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna put this up there just so that it's organized. So we said floor plan. So we're gonna make the floor plan. We're gonna go to our assets, our brick project studio. We're gonna go to apartment. I believe it's under common. No, it's not under common. Prefabs, apartment kit right here. I believe interior. We're gonna go to flooring and flooring here. We're gonna have 5 floor options. Oh, they added a new one, another one actually. This was not here initially, so they added new. So we're gonna drag and drop our asset right around here. Let's see where the VRC road is. Okay, so that makes sense. So we're going to change this to about right around here. We're going to zoom in, double click on that new asset that we just put. We're going to try our best to make it symmetrical. Not symmetrical, but not to make it even. Let's put this around here. Move tool around right around there. Okay, we're going to left down here. We're going to drag our prefab in the hierarchy. We're going to put it here on the floor plan so that when we move the house, if we need to move the house, everything under house one and everything in that area is going to move with it. It's like a one unit thing. And it is important if you have an object that you want to move because of a mistake or some type of new action or new condition, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now that we have done that, let's start adding more stuff. I'm trying to line it up with the boxes. There we go. I think that's as best as we can do. Okay, so now we're going to copy and paste. Control C, Control V on your keyboard. Hold Control on your move tool on the blue arrow like this. We're going to drag it until we see it can meet the other one around there. Let's zoom in using the scroll wheel on your mouse to make sure there's no gaps. Here's the thing I learned when doing this on LiveSpace. If there is a gap or they're overlaid on top of each other, if they're overlaid, it's going to look like a flicker effect. It has happened to me where if you have the flicker effect, it's going to glitch your avatar. Be extremely careful that it's no gap and no overlay on your objects and prefabs. Now what I'm going to do is hold left click on the other one, hold control and do the other one too. I'm going to control C and control V. I'm copying 2 items at the same time. So we're going to try to make it right around there. Congratulations, you just made a floor. Now so right now we have 4, 3, 4. I'm going to go up to 6 to 2 more. So we're going to go all the way here. So we're about to make the floor plan. So what I'm going to do now is make sure there's no gaps or overlay. I think we're good there. We're going to test it out anyway in a bit. We're going to go ahead and go to the hierarchy. Press the left click the first one. Hold shift until you get to the last one. And then control C, control V. What I just did is selected all the 6 and then make it all the way up to here. Let me make sure there's no gaps. We are good. So what this is a 6 by 2 or a 12 square. Okay, this is 12 square because 6 times 2 is 12. I'm going to add the other 6 now. I'm going to add 12 more. But we're not going to select one by one. Left click the first one, hold shift to the last one, control C, control V. We're going to go all the way up to here. Uh, right there. Let me just make sure. Yep. So what I just did is copy 12 boxes, 12 squares, and I just copy and paste it. Now we have 24 because 6 by 4, 24. Okay, I think we're gonna stop there just so that we can show you guys other objects. Okay, now Control Save, Control S to save. We are done with our floor plan for the moment. We can always add, we can always subtract. The most important part for today is to start building your own world. We're going to left click on that down arrow on floor plan. We're going to click on house 1. We're going to right click. We're going to create empty. Create empty here. We're going to name it walls. Okay, we're going to name it walls. Now, there's two ways to make a wall. We're either going to use the prefab wall, or we're going to make our own wall using the Pro Builder. I recommend if you're the first, either one. Either one would work. But that is up to you to decide on how you want to do it. Now, to make it easier, we're going to take a look at the sample again. Now, you can always do this. This is not cheating. Okay? This is not cheating. You want to make sure you understand the basics of your asset pack that you downloaded. So we're going to go to apartment kit again. We're going to go to prefabs. We're going to go to structures, and we're going to re-add that structure that we just added. Now, because I closed the doors, I deleted the doors in the asset. It's already removed from the asset. So what we're going to take a look at is the wall. So let's take a look at the structure, and we're going to take a look at the exterior, and we're going to take a look at the walls to see how they are used in the asset, so that we can actually demonstrate what we can play with. So this wall right here is EXT apartment wall 1. So that is the asset that is presented here on the wall. We're going to go ahead and copy that and then paste that. We're going to drag this all the way until we get to our walls. And then we're going to move this thing all the way to where we are. Okay? So our little house. Okay, so we are gonna move it all the way. Try to touch the wall. Right around here. Okay? It should match. It should be like touching the corner. And it is. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna copy and paste until we get to about the last corner. We can also do the trick where we do everything in one, but that's an optional. Oops. If you make a mistake, Control Z to undo. But again, don't copy what I'm doing. Make it your own. I'm just showing you guys in general. So we're gonna actually skip a spot and put it over here because we're going to add that the doorway. So Control Save. Now for that, we're gonna put house 1. We're gonna make an empty object, and we're gonna put doorway. You may have noticed I've been capitalizing that because they're folders. Okay, we're going to add the doorway from the sample, and it is presented by, let's see what we got, EXT apartment wall number 2. We're going to make a copy of that, and then we're going to drag that into our doorway. Now keep in mind, you can have multiple doorways. I just happen to put it as one singular doorway to present how it looks like. You can have as many doors as you want. We're gonna line it up with this. And ta-da! We have our door. We have our doorway, and if we want, let's just say that this has two entrances, we can do that too. Copy, paste. Let's make it a symmetrical entrance. Let's go right around here. Ta-da! We just made our house or our door. Now keep in mind that inside it looks it's a black color. That's okay because we can change the material. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to rotate. I'm going to we're gonna do this one at a time. We're going to copy this. We're gonna move it all the way to the back so that it's symmetrical. We're gonna rotate this all the way around until you get to that corner, and then we're gonna go ahead and move this to here. We're gonna keep copying and pasting until we get all the way to the end. What the beauty of a VRChat world is you have to be creative. Oops, gonna redo that. There we go. I think that matches up. Yes, yes, it does. And then just copy this one, and then do this. Oops, do this. Oopsie. Copy paste, and then rotate this. Oops, rotate this around, and then move it back. There we go. And then rotate this because the door front needs to be matching the side. There we go. Right around there. Ta-da! We made our little wall. We can do the same thing on the other side as well. So just copy this, rotation. Ta-da! Move it back a smidge, right around there. Remember, it does not have to be perfect, but it has to cover the thing. Right around there, and then copy and paste again. There we go. Now you might be wondering, why can I not just select everything, just rotate everything? There has been a time where I have done that, but for some reason it rotates weirdly. Let me explain. So I'm going to select these two, copy and paste, then I'm going to rotate at the same time. Watch carefully. You can see how it's going to rotate weirdly for some reason. Now, if you rotate it together along with the parent, it's going to be it's going to act familiar. Okay, so let me just make sure I did not double. Okay, I did. I'm gonna do that anyway because I'm gonna cover the other side. Right here. Now we're not gonna add objects yet. I'm just showing you guys how to start like making the base. This needs to be rotated because that's how it's depicted on the model 2. So we're gonna left click here. This one it does because it's a full 180. and then right here. There we go. And then right here, copy paste, and then put right around there. Now for the roof, they use something called, let's see what they use. They use exterior apartment one roof edge. So we're going to copy that. We're going to call it a wall. Although it's not a wall, we're going to put it under the wall section. Actually, they do have a roof section. Let's actually do our naming convention exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and go to house one, right click, empty object, create empty object. We're going to call this roof, ROOF S. And then we're going to find our roof that we just made. And we're going to go to drag it here. And then we're going to drag this roof to our roof. Now keep in mind, if you have a second floor, assuming that you're going to have a second floor, make absolute sure that you also include the second floor. Okay, now that we have the roof, we're going to go ahead and copy and paste until we match the the building structure. Okay, you may have noticed it's dark. I'm going to go ahead and put a light so that we can demonstrate light as well. So I'm going to save. So I'm going to go ahead and put another empty object. Create empty. We're going to call light. And then we're going to make a light under that. We're going to go to light. Light. We're going to call it a, let's go with spot point light. We're just going to call it light A. Whatever the name is going to be. We're going to double click on this to find our light. We're going to go to inspector. We're going to go to position. Ooh, it is already at 000. So we're just going to put it all the way to where we are. We're going to go up. We're going to go down. We're going to go right here. Let me see where it's at. It's right here. Go to click on it. We're going to go to intensity 6. You see how it's going to be brighter. I'm gonna go 78. Don't do this. The only reason why I'm doing this is so that I can see where we are. But when we get into lighting our scene, I'm gonna explain it more. The only reason why I'm doing this now is so that I can see what we are doing, especially with the roof. Because it's black at first, but if you put the light on, it's gray. Okay? So that is a good way to start testing. We're gonna go ahead and continue doing our roof. I think we are good there. Yeah, we are good there. Now we're gonna copy and paste again until we finish the coverage of the roof. Now it looks boring. The roof actually looks boring right now, but that's just because we have not started talking about material materials like wood, sapphire, marble, um, like that. We're gonna get into that in a bit, or in our next lesson on Thursday. And then we're gonna do the whole thing where I just select this, copy and paste. That is actually the faster method. Let's absolutely make sure that nothing is overlapping, and I see a little bit of overlap. Let's see. Well, let's see where the overlap is. I can tell because there's like little janky things. Let's just make absolute sure. Oh yeah, there's a little one. Let's see. Even a little bit of janky is going to throw everything off. You want to absolutely get dirty by going inside of there. Not in that way, in that sense, but there we go. I think we're good. Ooh, if there's a little more there. But that's gonna happen sometimes. So, but as of the roof, we are good. Okay, now let's see inside. So now that we have done that, let's go inside our little house. So see, this is how the inside looks. Again, it looks boring, but that's because we haven't done anything yet. We haven't put our furniture in. We haven't even put our room in here. Well, we're about to do that, but before we do, let's go ahead and move the light that we just installed, technically installed. Let's move it down so that we can see everything. Okay, now make absolute sure if you put the light before you actually test, that's a good idea because you can see what you're doing. The thing is, you want to always put light anyway, so that the environment can be lively. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test it. Now I'm gonna remove structure one for the meantime, so that it's just our house. I just hide structure one just so that we can test our house. And then I'm gonna go to our hierarchy. I'm gonna move our box to here so that it's easier. Then to make this faster, I'm gonna go all the way down to Udon behavior script. There is a section called public variable. I'm not gonna talk about public variables programming today. We're gonna do that when we get into interactivity next week. I'm going to go to walk speed. I'm gonna change it to 7. Run speed. I'm gonna change this to 15. That is how you get to make safe go faster. And then the strive save left and right, I believe I'm gonna put it to 15. Control save and then go to VRChat SDK, go to build and test build. Now we're gonna test our new house. Again, it looks like the same size as structure one, but we're not gonna put everything. We're just gonna design it today, and then next time on Tuesday, let's see what I have for you on Tuesday. I have my lesson plan. Don't worry, somewhere here. Yeah. So today we talked about testing free. We talked about everything. But next week, I mean on Tuesday, Thursday, we're gonna decorate more. I'm gonna show you how to use materials today, but we're gonna decorate more, like objects, prefabs, couches, and the use of VRC chair and pickup, where you can make pickupables, pickupables. Try saying that 3 times fast. So we're gonna be talking about pickupables on Thursday, along with VRC chairs, along with more material to make your house or your world more better. We're not gonna get into the whole big boy stuff until next Tuesday, when we talk about interactions in UI. There's also animations, but I'm gonna teach myself animations first before we do any animation. So as you can see here, I have my walking speed up. I have all this good stuff. You may have noticed though very fast that there's something wrong, and that is the fact I can go through the wall. You're not supposed to do that by rule, but I'm going to show you how to fix that using something called box collider. So as you can see though, we can go into our little house. Congratulations, you just made your house. Obviously it's not complete yet because there's no decoration stuff, and I can still go through the wall. I'm about to change that. I just wanted to show you guys how it's going to look like once we start building. And obviously we can go fast because I just changed the speed. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and change the way our whole walls behave. Now it's time to introduce you to something called a box collider. So a box collider is a collider that allows you to, well, collide with certain objects and prefabs. This is important for a few reasons. Number one, box colliders actually allows you to do stuff with the object. And number two, it might be required for certain prefabs when it comes to certain games. So if you're making a gun game, for example, like the PvP world, you need to have a box collider because that collider is like how you get attacked. The box collider, that's how collision happens. This is not just for VR chat worlds. Box colliders can be used for normal video games that you make on Unity. So box collider is gonna be important. So what we're gonna do is go to house one. We're gonna go to the walls and we're gonna select all the walls that we just made. Not the roof though. The roof does not count. Let me just make sure all the walls are selected. And they are, except for the doorway, which I'm gonna have a box collider for. So what we need to do is go to inspector and we're going to go to add component. We're going to go for box collider. And the first one, the one that says box collider, not 2D. 2D is for 2D gaming. So now that we have a box collider, we do not need to do anything else. But we just need to make sure that we can go in the house. So we're going to make absolute sure we can go into the house. Actually, we do not need a box collider for the door. I misspoke. So we're gonna actually remove that box collider by going to remove a component. So we're good there. So everything else should have like a box collider. To determine if it has a box collider, every object with a box collider has a green box, a literal green box. As you can see, we have a green outline box. That tells us it has a box collider. Control save. We're going to test it again. But we do not need to go to VRChat. We just need to go to play button. The play button is the CyanEMU. This is your introduction to the VRChat client simulator. Basically, this allows you to test the world without launching VRChat. But if you want to test networking, you must test it in VRChat. Press accept here. It looks like VRChat, right? The only thing you don't see is the Catrice model because I'm using the tester from Unity. And as you can see, I can collide with the wall now, meaning there's a box collider around the whole area. Exception is the door because I want you to get inside the house. That's the only exception without the box collider. If you put the box collider on the door, because the box collider puts in the whole thing, it also includes the path with the door. Therefore, the door is also blocked. You do not want that. You just want the surrounding. Okay? The roof does not need a box collider at this moment, assuming that you're not planning like a hotel with a helicopter pad. For that, you must have a box collider. If you are planning to have like a helicopter pad on the door on the roof, because if you do not put a box collider, it will be like going through the wall. It will go through the roof, and you do not want that. You don't want to have a crash landing, basically. So now that we have tested out, we can go ahead and exit play mode. We're gonna go ahead and control save. And now you just learn your basic parts of Unity with box colliders and all that nice stuff. But it still looks like a boring house. So, how do we fix that? Well, we can find wood material shown here by typing in wood. This comes into us from the apartment kit as well. So they actually have for us um, material for us to play with should we need it, and we will need it. So for the roof, let's go with that wood. So all we have to do to apply it is drag and drop all the way until our heart's content, basically. So now we have a wooden roof per se. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Okay. Oops. So we have ourselves a wooden roof. And now it's gonna look a lot nicer. It's no longer just a wild roof anymore. It's a roof that we can call our own in a way. And remember, you do not need to use the apartment kit's roof material. You can actually find more on the Unity Asset Store. But for the sake of today's tutorial for this series, we're just using what we have so that we can just start building our own world. Now inside we can do the same thing. We can actually do the same thing. Assuming that we can get in fast enough. There we go. We can color these walls. Let's go with this rustic one. We can color our doorways too. And again, like I said earlier, we do not need to use the material provided for us. We can find more on the asset store, assuming that you have enough money, of course. Some of them are free, some of them are not. Just go ahead and your imagination is your limitation here. You want to make sure your audience likes it. Not only your audience, but whoever is going to visit your world. The only thing we're not doing, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway, is actually uploading the world because you need to have not you have to count when you download VRChat. You are allowed to test your world. The thing you're not allowed to do yet is upload. The only way you upload is you have to actually play VRChat like literal play, like go join a lobby, like I do on Thursdays, and then for about 2 hours, and then after you do those 2 hours, you can upload your world. Okay, that's the only limitation you need to understand. For the door, we're gonna go with this white wood. Let's see how that looks. There we go. Now we have a colorful house, kind of. Um, yeah. So now we have our house. Although we want to change this to maybe let's try this one. Again, mix and match is okay. If you do not like the wood, you can find something on the Unity Asset Store like a marble or some type of thing that you like. You can even match your own house if you want to. The possibilities of making your own house is endless. The only thing limiting you is your imagination. Okay? Control save. So now here's how it looks from the outside. If we examine it from the outside, as you can see, we now have our very own house. Now to finish up today's lesson, we're gonna start getting ready for our next lesson, which again, like earlier mentioned, is decoration day. We're gonna make our house better with objects and prefabs, materials. I just introduced you to a few of them. VRC chairs and how to use them, and VRC pickup. So that's our lesson on Thursday. But I'm gonna go ahead and start showing you what we're gonna be building. So we're gonna be building like a few rooms. So like a bedroom, a living room, a small house, a small kitchen, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and small our little tiny house. Um, we're gonna copy this wall We're gonna copy this wall. We're gonna move it to where we can actually divide it with the door. So let's make this our little our little bedroom. We're gonna rotate this again. You can change it as much as you want. We're gonna go this side so that the other wood is gonna be facing the player. Let's move it to here. Again, try to line it up as best as you can. And we're gonna call this the bedroom. Again, it's small, but and then we're going to right copy and then we're gonna rotate it this way. Let me see. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna move it to here, right there, and then we're gonna copy our door. Copy our little door. Copy our little door. And there we are. Oh, it's a little overlap. That's okay. And there we are. There's our little door. There's a little house. And there's a little bedroom. Then over here, let's see what I want to make this. Oh, the kitchen. Um, we're gonna copy this. We can put it right there. And then we're gonna add one more door, one more wall to this side. And then we're gonna do this right there. That's gonna be our kitchen. And then over here could be our living room, whatever. Please note that this is so small. That is a small house for the sake of the tutorial. I'm just showing you guys this to show you guys how to start making stuff. And then copy this. We're going to go ahead and right click right there. I'm going to move this to here so that we can add this door. I'm going to rotate it there. I'm going to make sure there's no overlap by bringing this down a little bit. And I mean just a smidge. Yeah. Actually, let's add one more section. Again, when you make your actual VR chat world, the only reason why I'm making it this small is for tutorial purposes, but make sure you have enough space for other players because you're not the only one in the VR chat world. There's gonna be other players involved. I'm just showing you guys this for our tutorial series. And we set this down. There we go. We're done. So we just made our house. So that is like your little entrance way. And then over here is like your living room. Over here is gonna be your like your way to the kitchen, the dining room, and maybe the backyard. Now I'm gonna remove the light so that we can start learning like lighting and all that stuff like for real once we get into like lesson 2. So that is gonna do it for today. Today we learned how to use Unity. We got to make our very first house. We also got to learn about box colliders and how to use the sample product to make your own version of that product. Next time we're gonna start learning the more intricate, interesting stuff like the VRC chairs. We'll always be talking about more of the pickupables. We're gonna start decorating our house and start actually putting life into our little house. Because right now it's a lifeless house. There's no built, there's no TV, there's no couch, there's no kitchen. Okay? We're gonna start putting some stuff inside the house. Then we're gonna start putting some interactable. Now keep in mind we're not gonna be focusing on like cooking, for example. Like combining items because you need a script for that. And I'm not gonna be teaching about scripting. I will be talking about how to turn on light using Udon Graph programming assets, but that's not until like next week, unless we have time for on Thursday. The Thursday we're gonna be doing a lot of new stuff. Okay. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys would hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button, and if you guys want more of these tutorials like this, let me know. I'll be happy to provide them. And if you would like, I can split this up into different sections for our video people. Until then, until Tuesday, until Thursday, that is Yuki saying, live life to the fullest and keep on building them worlds because you never know. Francis the Wolf might visit one, and your world could be part of that series. Enjoy, and we'll see you guys tonight for Final Fantasy IX and some GeoGuessr on the main channel. Enjoy and good luck. Make those worlds. Have some fun with it.